You're now tuned in to The Twisted Truth with Corey Wesley, where everyday conversations take an unexpected turn. Entrepreneur, artist, author, and truth seeker, Corey Wesley is here to challenge the way we think, question the norms, and bring fresh perspectives to life, business, and beyond. With unfiltered discussions, special guests, and real talk, get ready for a show that's bold, insightful, and always a little twisted. Buckle up, because the truth isn't always what it seems. And now, here's your host, Corey Wesley. Welcome to another episode of The Twisted Truth with me, Corey Wesley. Show up, dead or alive. Is funeral attendance love or guilt? That's a question I'm trying to figure out. If you never visited me when I was struggling, why show up when I'm gone? Have you ever asked yourself, why do people go to people's funerals and they ain't visit them? Ain't in years, decades. Is that really respect? Because honestly, for me, if you ain't seen me throughout my life, don't show up at my funeral. It's okay. The time is gone. I don't even know you're there. Why do we show up at people's funerals when we haven't even visited them for decades? We haven't even called them. We don't even know anything about these people, especially family members that you haven't spoken to in decades. You know, it's the final goodbye, paradox. Why do people prioritize funerals over visits when someone is alive and suffering? Like, don't you want to support them, give them affirmations, man? Like, just encourage them. Just like a few minutes ago, what sparked this is I have a 90-something-year-old neighbor, and she's thriving mentally, but she is in a hospital. Her back, she has osteoporosis or something like that. I can't even say the word. But I have been her neighbor for almost 18 years, maybe 19 now, and I've changed her light bulbs. This is kind of going off kilter, but our society is not for the older. If for people of her age didn't have technology and phones, and now even just to put in a service request for management, you need a computer. They don't even take them requests over the phone anymore. So I've helped her over the years, and I just got off the phone with her just to check on her, and she's like, "Thanks for calling. I'm here, but I'm in pain." I said, "But I'm going to come visit you next week." And obviously I'm thinking to myself, why put off today what I could do? Why put off tomorrow what I could do today? And obviously of her age, but she's thriving. So, I do have time. It's not an urgency, and I have been there for her. I'm drinking I know it's too early to be drinking on a Saturday, but I am. It's showing up after death, a performance act. Is it really respect, or is it unspoken guilt? That's what I'm wondering, because I've been thinking about this. Because I have family members flying in for funerals, and they ain't even called the person, ain't even spoke to them in decades. And I'm just like, why are you spending airline ticket money and all that when you could have been doing that when they were alive, when you found out that they were in the hospital, or when you found out that they were ill? Why didn't you take the time to fly up and sit with them, even if they were in distress, even if they were transitioning? Why didn't you just come sit by their deathbed? I hate to say deathbed, but by their bed, and just say what you wanted to say your piece, to say, "I love you." This is the opportunity. I haven't been there. I apologize. I wish or ask them, about their life experience, get some knowledge, something. But it confuses me why why people do that. I don't. After my grandmother, I said that I would not attend another funeral. Honestly, and I truly do not want to attend another funeral. I'm not going to mention it, but in my head, I know 3 or 4 people that I will be attending out of just because they are in my life, or they're part of someone else's life that are important to me. But other than that, child, please send flowers. I'd rather you send the flowers, obviously, but honestly, if you didn't send me some flowers while I was alive, why are you sending them to me dead? I don't know. Don't spend that money. Keep that money. Keep your airline tickets. If you wasn't around, I don't want you over my body. I really don't. Ugh, it really irks me. And I hate when they say, "Are people say they're paying respects?" Are people paying respects or easing their own conscience? What do you think? I want to hear from you. Can you put in the comments? Because I really want to know what your opinion and your thoughts are on that. Are people paying respects or easing their own consciousness? When I don't know, they're there, is a valid excuse. When that isn't that a valid excuse? I, I didn't know what they were going through. Also, is not a valid excuse. I think honestly, if you hear that someone's in the hospital and they're not doing well, I would think that it's an urge. Now, I will say, because I got to preface it and be very transparent. I have done that with my mom. My mom's in a nursing house. She has COPD. Her lung capacity is low. And when my mom's on the brink, and it's happened multiple times, I've called people. And then months or weeks later, I don't know what, God or the universe or whatever, I don't know, and I don't want to say it's a sick trick, but it is constantly boggles my mind that this woman has 9 lives, because then all of a sudden she bounced back. So I somewhat am embarrassed, though, to constantly call people and tell them, "Oh my God, this is it," because every time it does appear to be it. There was one moment where the doctor, and I remember my ride or die was with me, and he was like, the doctor said, "Do you have anyone else to call?" And I said, "Yeah, her sister who lives in Atlanta." So I called her. My aunt flew up, and my mother took out the thing. She was intubated. She took it out when my aunt woke up. When it got here, she woke up, and then I was like, "Oh!" And we've been going through that for almost good 6 years, back and forth. I mean, years go by. She has a spout, a scare, and then she bounces back, and then a scare, and she bounces back. It's scary, right? But no one visits my mom in a nursing home. No one, her family, she has a ton of family, cousins and stuff. They don't visit. And I feel like if God forbid something happens, I'm not telling anybody. Sorry. And I'm going to tell the most important people that need to know, and they're going to find out afterwards. Because I feel like don't travel and do that, because she needed people to be there to support her. And I don't want to hear about, "Oh my God, we were busy." People need loved ones. We talk about family, 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 family. That's another topic. Now, the comfort of distance while alive. Let's talk about that topic. It's inconvenient to be there when someone is vulnerable. So we wait until they're gone and can't ask for anything, right? So really being far away, it's really, it's like, well, I'm far away. They can't ask me for anything right now. I can't do anything because I'm all the way down here, or wherever they live. So they put that in their mind that it's really it's inconvenient for the person who's needing support and family, but it's convenient for the person while the person's alive to be like, "Oh well, I'm far away," and so then they don't have to ask you for anything. People fear emotional labor more than they fear loss, I guess. Do you agree with that? People fear emotional labor more than they fear loss. I don't know about that, but maybe so. I fear loss more so than I feel the labor of doing something. Now, yes, I be bitching and moaning and groaning that I gotta go visit my mother every day, but I also know that it would be devastating to know that that one day, that everyday visit will no longer be necessary. And that's going to really change my life. Okay. So, what would I weigh out more? Not visiting, not having the memories. I record her. We make funny jokes. I make her laugh. I try to catch those moments so that when that day ever, God forbid, but it is going to, I'm like I always say, I'm not exempt from that experience. Unless I'm going before she going. Um, but I'm not exempt. But I will have put in all the effort in the moments that being at the loss of that would be more meaningful than not ever visiting and then showing up and then crying and oh my God, how could, and then it's like what all these antics that people do, and it's like oh my God, why are we over the top? Let's stop. It's like a show, and I'm like over the show. I'm trying to be in a namaste moment in my life. How society rewards performance grief. They do social media tributes, flowers. They show up in black. That's why I got a black shirt on today, because I wanted to show up in black just as a point. All to be seen as mourning. Is that really mourning? Where was that energy when the person needed the support and the presence? That's what I get pissed off about. I don't want your antics. I don't need your sympathy. I don't want your prayers. I need the prayers now to keep her. I say more when you have more than one person praying, there is presence of the universe, God, whatever you believe in. There is a power. And I believe that. And I believe that love sustains people. I believe, and people who know me personally say this about my mom all the time when she recovers. It's the love and the presence I give her. It is really that important to show love and presence. And when that person doesn't have that, they dwindle away. That's why people are scared of nursing homes. Because when they put these people in, they lose the connection, the human experience. They don't have it. And so they give up. My mom my ride or die visits her as much as he can. She hasn't missed a Saturday in decades. I mean, my mom's been in and out of nursing homes, and he has never missed a day just because I'm an only child and he gives me a day break. But we're giving him a break now because now I told him it's a little, at one point, like I said, almost looked like she was on her way out. Well, now she's thriving again. And so but it's all the love that we're showing her. So that's why I say to myself, where was the energy when the person needed the presence and the support when they were alive? Don't show up crying and with flowers and oh my God. And you know nothing about the person's journey, their struggle, their sadness, everything, their depression, their loneliness. It's horrible to be, and I have a very deep connection to this because I see nursing home. I go to a nursing home every day and I see the loneliness. I see that people put their parents in and maybe their children aren't alive, but maybe they don't have any relatives. That's like my neighbor. She's 90 something. She's 90 something. Her relatives are distant relatives. They don't know her personally. They didn't even live in the area that we live in. So she needs love and support. She needs to know that people care about her. She does need to have a visitor. And that's why I'm going to make it this is where we do say, oh, well, she's all the way downtown. And it's an inconvenience. But I also know that I have to not be so selfish because in, God forbid, that time, I want to have a clear conscience, even if I don't attend, because I don't want to attend a funeral, but maybe that one I might. Well, God forbid, let's not talk about that morbidness, but at this point, but because she's still here. However, I would feel conscience free because I changed her light bulbs. I've called customer service for her. I've put in reports as my management for the building wasn't doing stuff that I call, what here we have 311 and filed a complaint with the city, and they came out. I've been in her apartment to change light fuses and email management when she needed service reports, because they went from being able to call to now you had to use technology, and she's 90 something, and it's unfair how we do our seniors. But that's another subject. What's the real cost of not showing up? It's sad when people don't show up for you. Having a mother in a nursing home who has tons of family and no one visits, they don't even call. They don't even ask me, how's your mom? Yes, and I put things on social media, but people think it's for I guess, for their update. And I kind of indiscreetly do it because I don't want questions about it, because I feel like you can visit her if you want to. So don't call me because she's viable. She can talk on the phone. I brought her an actual house phone for the development, so she at the nursing home, so she can receive phone calls. They can even take her out. Yes, my mom is in a wheelchair, but they have learned how you can call a taxi, Uber for accessible cabs. I've taken my mom to restaurants. I wanted to take her to a movie, but my mom, she's getting so used to being indoors that she's scared to go outside. So today, soon, I'm going to go and force her to get outside. She needs air. People need air in these facilities. They cannot just stay stagnant in those environments. Can you imagine what it would feel like if you were stuck in your house day in, day out, nobody visiting you? How would you feel? Honestly, how would you feel? And how does that impact your view on relationships and who really matters? And that's why I get an attitude with people. Okay, family don't understand why I don't show up for things, because y'all didn't show up for me. Okay, and you're not showing up for her. And I know that may seem a tit for a tat. I don't really care. I'm a tit for a tat human being. Okay, but when it comes to that last sign off, that goodbye, I don't want people showing up that weren't there when she was alive. Don't come over her cat. Don't, no. What is that for? I don't want that show. I'm not part of that show. I don't believe in that show. What would you want for yourself? Would you want that? Would you prefer people to visit you while you're alive, or wait until you're posted, or until they're posting about it? I don't want you posting about me. How do you want to be honored? I don't know. That's a very deep question. How would you want to be honored? I would want my closest, who were there, the ride or dies of my life, that knew every part of my journey. And I know there's distance, but my friend Carol in Chicago, we don't speak every day, but she's made an effort and I've made a better effort. And she flew in for my 50th. She stayed here. I know what's going on. Her son is graduating. He's going to DePaul. He did it on his own. I'm so excited that she's now going to have a college-bound son. And I know her earlier days, her traveling. We met at work and who she dated and what she's overcome. I don't want to give out her business, but the struggle she had in relationships and finding true love and how she found that love. I know all those components about this person up until today. I know where she works, what she's doing, how she is, and that matters. And so in my eyes, honoring that myself, how would you want to be honored? I would want to be honored by those people. To speak on my my trials and tribulations and how I overcame them, the struggles they saw me go through, and how because every human experience, we go through something, we also come out of something. And our journey, our testimonies. And so I would want to hear, I would want the people that really mattered and was a part of my journey from A to Z, or a substantial part of my life. Excuse me. Um, I would really want them to be the ones there. I don't want strangers. And yes, I know that you might impact people. I would be even if I don't know someone, and they like videos or they know my music or they just saw or were a part of my journey from a distance and they didn't know me personally and they weren't a friend or family, I would be okay with them coming to honor me. Now, family and friends, that's different because they know me personally, but people who know me aesthetically through social media, if I was famous enough and they wanted to show respect because I impacted some part of their life or they were part of my journey and they just are sad and they just want to just pay respects in that respect, I'm okay with that. So, in essence, getting back to the beginning of how we started this, show up dead or alive, is funeral acceptance love or guilt? What do you think? I want you to leave a comment. I want to hear what you have to say about this final goodbye paradox. And do you think it's guilt or is it really paying respects? I personally don't think it's paying respects. I think you're wasting your money flying up, buying flowers for somebody that you didn't even talk to, see, whatever. It's just the person don't even know that you're there. And for the people, to me, for like my mom, my son, it would just be annoying that you would be there. To be honest, it would be like, well, you didn't call, you didn't ask how she was doing, and yes, you can send your condolences, but I'm just going to look at them and be like, okay. Now, yes, send me a card with some money because funerals are expensive. That's nice. Now you can do that to pay respects, which half of them don't do. And that's where another thing. I think they show up because they don't have to contribute to the funeral. And yes, people have insurance, but sometimes they don't, and you don't even know that story. You know, like my mother in a nursing home, I have to pay her insurance because nursing homes, does anybody know anything about it? They take everything, a pension and a Social Security. How does she live with her son? But not with her son, but by her son and my brother doc helping time to time. She don't get no income. So how do you think she gets new clothes? How do you think that she gets treats? And how does she um do things on an income of her son? So if you want to pay respects to someone who was a caretaker or whatever, put an envelope with some cash in it and mail it. To me, that's paying respects to the person that took care of the person versus paying respects to someone that you didn't even say hello to, goodbye to, pick up the phone, all that. As you can see, I'm quite passionate about this. Well, anyway, as I always close off, thank you for listening to another episode of The Twisted Truth with me, Corey Wesley. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and share, and tell everyone about The Twisted Truth. Remember to stay blessed, because you are already blessed. And remember to love yourself, trust yourself, and believe in yourself. wherever you are. Have a good day, good night, good morning, all that good stuff. And just tell someone you love them and go visit someone that might be ill today or call. It's nice because they might be struggling, even if you say, I just was thinking about you and I just want you to know, I know that times are tough for you, but I'm praying for you. I'm here. Whatever you believe is the right thing to say. But say something while they're alive, not when they're gone. That's a wrap for this episode of The Twisted Truth with Corey Wesley. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with someone who needs a fresh perspective. Remember to stay curious, stay bold, and always remember this: the truth isn't always what it seems. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep twisting the truth. See you soon.